Welcome to this Prezi on editing a paper. This Prezi will focus on how to begin the editing process, 10 tips for editing a paper, and how to check for coherence and unity. During the editing stage, check your paper for tone and diction, sentence structure, and format. You may have spent some time on these issues in the revising stage, but a final edit is needed because even small mistakes can undermine a well-constructed paper. Here are some tips to begin editing. Recopy, reprint, or retype your revised paper so that it's easy to read and there is plenty of room for changes. Read over your revised paper and imagine that you are a first-time reader. Have a friend or relative read over your work. Also, you will want to take a look at MacEwan University's Academic Integrity Policy, C1000, to review acceptable forms of collaboration. Read the paper aloud and listen for awkward rhythms, repetitive sentence patterns, and missing transitions. Be careful to read what you actually see on the page, not what you may have intended to write but did not. Learn from your past experiences. Keep a record of your past work and use this to check your future work. Let's look at 10 pointers for editing a paper. Include only relevant words and phrases in your paper. Every word in your sentence should add as much meaning as possible. For example, instead of using the word said, what about argued, revealed, or suggested? Avoid inappropriately elevated language, that is, jargon. Instead of, the weekly social gatherings stimulate networking among members of management with the aim of maximizing the flow of creative information, try writing, the weekly parties give managers a chance to share ideas. Mainly, you want to use language that is appropriate for academic writing. For instance, the word sucks might not be the best word to describe something. Take out irrelevant or unnecessary information, even if you like the sentence's wording. Some sentences you created previously will not be important to your central argument. Avoid repetitive sentence structure. Try not to start your sentences in the same way, like this example. The first stage is, the second stage is, the third stage is. Use a cliché only if you need to, but not too often. Beware of mixed metaphors. Metaphors can help make ideas more vivid, but using many of them in the same sentence can be confusing. A mixed metaphor is, various thorny problems that we try to sweep under the rug continue to bob up all the same. You can improve it by saying, various thorny problems that we try to weed out continue to thrive all the same. Avoid using crutch phrases. For example, in a situation in which is less clear than the word when. Do not overuse forms of the verb to be. Instead of saying, White's theory is a direct contradiction of Smith's, try saying, White's theory contradicts Smith's. Avoid using sexist language because it may alienate your reader. Instead of, each student should edit his paper, use, students should edit their papers. Incorporate quotations only when they are essential. If you rely too heavily on quotations, the reader will not be able to see what you actually think. Paraphrase whenever possible. Let's look at steps you can take to make sure your paper is unified and coherent. Check for unity with these questions. Is each body paragraph relevant to the main idea or thesis of the paper? Within each body paragraph, does each example or detail support the topic sentence? A paper has coherence if the reader can easily see the relation among the parts. Check for coherence with these questions. Do the ideas follow a clear sequence? What sentences are not clearly expressed? Are the parts of the paper logically connected? What sentences seem awkward or lacking in detail? Are the connections smooth and clear? Where does my writing become wordy or use vague terms? The final stage in the writing process series will focus on proofreading a paper.